everybody, and welcome to a new year, a new episode of Full Court Cleveland, first show of 2026. Rafa, Sam, and Booby with you. Ryan on the other side of the lens. Here we are. Hey, Happy New Year. Can we still say that? What's the status of limitations?
I think the January 4th is the last time you're allowed to say Happy New Year.
Come on. Happy New Year, Booby.
Happy New Year to you, Ralph. How you doing?
Good, man. How was your holiday?
It was great. Got an opportunity to see the fam. You know, whenever I can get DJ around me, that's life for me. So I was able to hang out with baby boy, get him ready for the second half of the year. And me too. I'm getting ready for the second half of the season. It's going to be a fun stretch for me.
Do you name him DJ so they make sure that he has D and a J?
For sure. You gotta have the J, man. But and that J is getting nice.
Yeah.
That jumper's getting really nice. So he's kind of getting to the place where he likes to work out on his own. He's waking up himself in the morning. Yeah. So that's a fun time. So we had a good break.
That's what you get when you go to Booby Shooting University, wasn't it?
Yeah, shooting you. That's it. That's it. Yes, sir. Shooting for success, baby.
Do you get to spend some time with the family for the holidays? Did Bluey make an appearance on
We did not.
holiday?
Bluey did not show up, but yeah, I got to spend time with. I think Christmas is like 25 to 30 people, and most of them are under 12, the age of 12. So it gets really loud. Thanksgiving kind of the same way, and then New Year's hung out with friends and family then too. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm worn out.
New year, new show, same trio of guys here on Full Court Cleveland, and on today's episode, we're going to break down some of the Cavs headlines that seem to be making the turn. We're going to talk about the power ranking. Nobody won the tickets yet because we have to use our power ranking shuffle machine to get what we're going to be ranking today, thanks to our friends at Garage Beer. Nice. And we're going to take a look at the top stories around the association with some big news breaking in the middle of our game earlier this week. So first, talk about the Cavs, of course. They have won 4 of their last 5 at the moment of taping. And the question for you, Sam Amico, is, are the Cavs finding the corner and making that turn?
It seems like they're slowly getting there, right? You know, like I said, 4 out of the last 5. Not every game's beautiful, not every game's perfect, but when you walk away with a W, that's all that matters, because you look at these standings in the Eastern Conference, and yeah, you know, the Cavs have been hovering between 7th and 8th in the conference standings, but, you know, a game and a half, 2 games out of second, and it's probably going to be this way all season. So it looks to me like they're finding a little bit more of a groove, and you know what? That's a great thing, because then you take off after January and the All-Star break when it means the most.
You know, they finished the year with a 3-game winning streak, Booby, and that Christmas game was a really, really good competitive game. I think one of the best games of that 5-game slot we have on Christmas. And unfortunately, when you get on a hole, the type of hole that the Cavs got heading into that Christmas holiday, the unofficial beginning of the NBA season, it's the kind of games that it's okay when you're doing well, when you lose because you competed, but when you're not, those are the games that kind of hurt you a little bit. But, you know, we lost to a Detroit team that is just really well coached, really well played game. But at the end of the day, you know, we beat the Spurs, we beat jokerless Nuggets, even though they just beat the Celtics. But at the end of the day, what's your turn on this last sample of games that we have for the Cavs?
Man, don't panic, right? Everybody's okay. We figured things out. Like, that's my whole thing with just understanding it's a long NBA season. And I think a lot of times we start to get worried or nervous when things aren't going the way that we want them to. But you just mentioned the Christmas game. I think that's a great moment to say, man, we played a game that we felt like we should win, but we didn't get it done, right? There's things that we can work on. So now you go back into the locker room and guys come out with a mindset like, you know what, man, we still have steps to go to get better. We still have things that we need to do as a team. So you keep that chip on your shoulder. And I think what I know is the guys here, the chatter, they understand that people are starting to feel like last year was a fluke or things, or guys we aren't the team that everybody's saying we are, right? And I just want that to turn into anger. I want that to turn into that aggressiveness. So coming down the stretch, Yeah, let's walk into the game. Just think you got to think we not that team we were and get on the court and prove it. So I think that this stretch has just shown that we're coming together. We're still getting bodies together. That's the first thing. That guys being healthy, we can't forget that. But I think as a team, we're starting to get back to the philosophy and the blueprint.
So many times in the last 4 or 5 seasons here in Cleveland, we have talked about growth and we have talked about learning. And even though now we feel we're in a position, Sam, of just taking that next step, trying to stay away from injuries, Booby has mentioned so many times, and we all have said everybody likes the 15-0 start. But you like to take those bumps and bruises during the season so you can learn. And Booby just mentioned that Christmas game. A couple of times during the game, you're up double digits. Those are the things you go back into the video room and look at what is it that you didn't do right. Do you see that as a positive for the Cavs, especially at the Garden, kind of like a playoff scenery in New York, Christmas Day? That's a lot of like wins and lessons for the Cavs in that game.
Absolutely. I thought that was a great game. It's one of those games where you're up double digits, you expect to win. You think you hold on, but you're in Madison Square Garden Christmas Day, and like you said, it was like a playoff game almost. But the good news is it wasn't a playoff game. Mm-hmm. So next time, not just when you face them, but what did we need to do here? Probably the answer is you got to keep them off the offensive glass. That's kind of been the Cavs' Achilles heel at this point. So those are the things. They know that. I'm not sharing any great secret. They know it. Kenny Atkinson talks about it all the time. We have to do a better job there. And if they can clean that up, like you said, it doesn't matter if you start 15-0, but wouldn't it be nice to finish 15-0, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, what their mindset is entering what will be the second half of the season soon.
Hey, we got a full show planned for you. Booby mentioned bodies. We have good news, bad news when it comes to adding and subtracting bodies on the roster for the Cavaliers. We'll talk about that when we come back on Full Court Cleveland.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. Energy-efficient products at an affordable price. Visit smartchoicewindows.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. First show of the 2026 calendar year, midway almost. We can no longer say it's early in the season. Don't worry about it. The season is long. We almost get into the 40-game mark where we have enough of a sample to start trying to realize, like, okay, this is probably going to be one of the things that the Cavs are going to need to work on. And Booby, we have mentioned the bench's output here, and the causes of the reason why it hasn't been consistent obviously is the missing bodies. We had some bad news. Good news, Max Strus is getting better. Bad news, he's going to need a little more time to make that comeback.
Yeah. Like you said, now we're going to get to the good part. That's what my dad always say. It's that part of the season where, you want to start revving up. And what I said before is you don't want to be peaking then. Now you want to start to find your ground and find your rhythm. So you hate to hear the news for Max, but, you want to make sure that your body is where it's supposed to be before you try to return. Like, this is his career long term that we're thinking about. And as a team, I think all year we've been putting guys in position to fill those roles. And so now, as Jalen's gotten more comfortable starting, we put Hunter back to the bench to kind of let him find that rhythm. Guys are finding their rhythm now, and as we say, we're turning that corner. I just think it'll continue to be next man up. It's just going to continue to be, like, I got to go back to my guy. I almost missed it. CP.
God. Almost triple-double, dude.
Come on now. You put him out there on the floor. He's going to show and prove. It might not be like you said, it might not be all points. It's going to be rebounds, steals, whatever you need. But to that point, guys are getting an opportunity to step up and show what they can do. CPJ is my guy. I've been waiting on him to get that chance.
And he's I always forget the name. What's the name of the Kansas City tight end girlfriend?
Taylor Swift.
He's a Swiftie. We like him anyway.
CPJ is a Swiftie.
If you go play like that, you can be a Swiftie.
Just so you guys, it's not just because he's a Cavalier, but CPJ led his team in college in rebounds, assists, block shots. and points.
Ralph, I'm telling you, I was in control. I went to this kid's game to watch somebody else. But every single time down the floor, he did something. Whether it was defensively getting a block or a steal.
Chase down blocks.
his
just
blocks that's his athleticism is what people forget about because he's so cool out there. He'll be jogging down the court and then boom, he takes off. And so during the game, he would score on this end, get a steal on this end, and assist on this end. And I left the game like there's no way that we shouldn't like give this guy a look. And that I think is translated to the league, and he just has that look about him that no moment is too big for him. They leave him in the game at the end against the Pacers, and it's like he's been out there all year.
And because of all you do on the court, CPJ, we forgive you for being a Swiftie.
Listen,
and for
man,
blaming your
I'm a
fiance
Swiftie
for
too.
knowing all the lyrics for Taylor Swift's song. But going back to the topic in hand, I don't want to ask you, Sam, if you're worried, because you and I have talked about here in this show how the All-Star break was going to be the deadline really for Max's comeback. So I'm still not on the panic side there. I think there's plenty of time for him to get back in shape, get his shooting, and get all that he needs to do. But I don't want to put Hoops Wire in the spot here, but can you explain to our millions of viewers and listeners what the Jones fracture is?
You're putting me on the spot. No,
Definitely.
no. I know it's
That's Max's injury,
it's
by
a
the way.
broken foot. It's a broken bone in the foot, right, Booby? Booby should know.
Nah, I don't know about this one. It was more my ankle, so the foot.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he
you
had a name.
You gotta
like
help
the
me out.
Jones fracture.
And who's Jones?
I don't know. I leave it up
What
to
was
Hoops
it?
Wire to enlighten us next show.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. But
Does he have enough time to get ready if he
Sure.
comes back after the All-Star break?
Yeah.
Enough time to get ready and contribute for Kenny
Absolutely.
Atkinson.
You
Because
know-
he did for the first time, Sam, mention and put a little, not blame, but a little pressure on the bench guys about
Yes.
not performing, especially after
Yes.
that Detroit game. We have talked about a little bit of worrisome here about how inconsistent he was because we know the reasons. But do you think he has enough time, Max Strus I'm talking about, for him to come back and contribute down the stretch and into the playoffs?
Sure, I would think, you got 30 games after the All-Star break usually. I would think you got enough time. Even if he can play those last 20 and they don't rush him, and it's healed and all that. If he could play 20 games, I would think, Booby, getting into the playoffs, that's kind of enough to get you into a rhythm, make you feel like you're in game shape. Covering the NBA players say all the time, practice minutes and running up and down the court is nothing like the game, even when you're really going at it in practice.
sir.
So I think that there's enough time for him. But, back to your other point about the bench, I think part of that is the injuries where you have guys who are used to a certain role off the bench and now they're starting or vice versa. So there's been a lot of mixing and matching because of the injuries, moving DeAndre Hunter out of the starting lineup. And I just think that everybody's still, and this is okay, everybody's still, other than like Donovan and Darius is coming around trying to get into kind of a rhythm. Yeah.
I don't know if there's such a thing as a self alley-oop. I think it's just throwing the ball to the backboard, kind of like Wemby style.
Yeah.
Right? So speaking of All-Star break, because I was just asking Sam about the All-Star break, Donovan Mitchell is in the top 5 in vote getting. I think he should be higher.
Yep.
But again, we all know that the All-Star voting is a popularity contest.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we as fans need to do a better job supporting our guys, especially the Spider, Donovan Mitchell. He's 5th in voting among all Eastern Conference players, and he's also the only Cavalier in the top 20 that was revealed. So are you surprised that he's 5? And to give you the ones in front of him, it was Giannis, Jalen, Bronson was 2 of them, and then Danny Avdia. He's on the West. He's on the top 5.
Yeah, jeez. Well, clearly shocked and surprised about those numbers for sure because Spider is a guy that's always at the top of the list in your MVP conversations, and he continues to show and prove that he's that guy. But it goes to also show you how much it's skewed, but people do care about winning, right?
Yeah.
If your team isn't at the top of the league, you're not getting as much love from the publications, and you're not on TV as much, so you're not getting as much fandom, right? So you got to win a little bit to boost those numbers. But at the same time, Donovan is still Donovan, right? He's Spider, and I think he deserves to be at the top of that list. Every year, he's the best shooting guard in the league, And so I just think that the fans need to get out, but at the same time, we have to play better as a team to make the fans want to get out and support and show love.
When you look at Don's number, I mean, he's leading the NBA in fourth quarter and second half.
Best two guard in the game.
Yeah.
He's leading them in three-pointers, man. So what more can he do to get up to that? But again, it's a popularity contest. My question to you, and Bobby just mentioned, Sam, about how winning impacts numbers. Evan Mobley is having almost the same numbers as last year. Last year, 18.5 points. This year, 17.8. 8.8 rebounds this year, 9.3 rebounds last year up to this point. 4 assists this year, 3.2 assists last year, a little better. More blocks, a little better, and he's still shooting 50%. But the Cavs didn't start 15-0 and are not at the top of the Eastern Conference, and he's nowhere to be found in the top of the voting, and still not being talked about, I think, about Defensive Player of the Year when he's having, I don't know, I think it was like 5 consecutive games with 2 blocks at least.
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is exactly what Booby said. If you're not winning a lot, and they're obviously over 500, the Cavs, but they're not where they were last year at this point in terms of record. So I think that's a big part of it. When you're talking about a national fan base, you've got to be up in the top 2 or 3 in the Eastern Conference for really to realistically get more than one guy. Yes. I would also say about Evan, I think a lot of people were expecting, 22 points, 12 rebounds, so probably setting the bar too high, and the fact that he's not there is probably impacts the fan vote.
Don is taking some of those votes too.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. You're getting guys like Donovan Mitchell. You're getting other guys who are coming up through the ranks too in the All-Star voting. And sometimes it's just when you talk about fans or even media people who might vote on things like that, sometimes it's kind of like you get exhausted with certain players. I'm not saying that's the case with Evan, certainly, but sometimes that's the case when you're talking
voters fatigue.
Voter fatigue.
Do you say media people or medium people? You just
both. I said media.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Also medium people, like size-wise, like me.
Quick, we gotta go to a break. But do you like that fans still have a say in picking the starters?
Do I like that the fans have a say? Yeah, I think they should get, what is it, 1/3 of the vote?
They get half.
Okay, that's too much. I deal with fans all the time on social media or whatever. Too much. Yeah.
This with the guy. This for the fans, man. The
fans don't know what's good for them. We can give the fans a better game.
Sitting in the seats to watch the All-Star game, so you got to get them to pick. They probably gonna get it wrong sometimes.
Probably.
But as an NBA player, you love the fan support, and so if they get it wrong, you got to roll with it sometime.
They have gotten it right at West. Kevin Durant is not in the top 5 vote category. We'll be right back on Full Court Cleveland.
Listen.
The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com.
Welcome back to Full Court Cleveland and Booby. I think they turned your microphone off before we went to break.
Yeah, it's lucky I'm still sitting right here because I will not take any more Slim Reaper slander in here.
Oh, my God.
It got to be stopped because he should be at the top of that list. And we got a conversation that we having later that he's at the top of my list on, too. So, yeah, I got something for you, Rob. I'm not going to walk out today.
We would not have a complete
I ain't gonna walk
Full
out
Court Cleveland show with a Booby mentioning KD.
Yes, sir. Big Texas
Hook 'em horns. I ain't going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
And at this, I appreciate that because we did just have January 3rd where they acknowledged our team. My 2005, 2006 team went to the Elite Eight. LaMarcus Aldridge, PJ Tucker, we was on that team. That brought Kevin Durant to, helped him come to the school. But they gave us some love a couple days ago for the run we had.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Hook 'em horns.
Yes, sir.
One of the most fun weekends I ever had visiting University of Texas in Austin.
Oh, man,
visiting
you know
my
what?
friend.
I started to wonder if you had.
I don't
some
remember
good
much of it, but it was people tell me it was fun.
Oh, okay. So you do got some love in there for us a little bit.
I love you, T.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
I
love you,
appreciate
T.
that. That's good to hear. Because I was worried a little bit. I was worried.
No. I just like picking on you, man. Let's talk about what's coming up for the Cavs it's a coming week. A double matchup against the Timberwolves, starting with Thursday in Minnesota. I always love it when I'm there and they're celebrating like the Purple Rain night.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like really awesome.
Yeah.
It's like
Is it?
at the
That's
Target Center.
they do?
You know, it's right across the street from
Where Prince shot that movie.
the place
Oh,
where
wow.
Prince used to
I've
play.
never heard of that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, what's the name? The First Avenue. It's right across the street from First Avenue, and they have a night where they give away an LP, a purple LP
Really?
of the song, and everybody's wearing purple and everything. So
That's cool.
kudos to people at the Target Center. But twice, home and away. Do you like those matchups like that? In hockey, they're a little exciting because if something happens in the first game, the second game is a continuation. Basketball is different, but it could happen. You know, it's 2 consecutive matches for the Cavs against a team that quietly could be a candidate in the West Side.
Minnesota Timberwolves is the only team that's been to the West Conference Finals 2 years in a row, right? I mean, this is a team that
Don't sleep.
is kind of like the Cavaliers are right now. Kind of like, well, there were huge expectations, and they're just kind of, finding their rhythm still. So it's always a tough matchup. Anthony Edwards, obviously, you can make the case top 5 in the NBA player, right? And Gobert defends the rim. So do I like the matchups where they're playing back-to-back like that? I don't know. I think it's okay. I'd prefer that, you get to see one team one time as a fan and then see the Timberwolves now and then see them again in a month or something. But what I don't like, I believe the Saturday game's at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I got to set my alarm for that one.
I'm kind of torn on those because I don't like the early routine start.
Yeah.
But I do like getting home. And
Yeah.
the other day, who did we play early? We got out and it was still light out. I was like, I haven't done that in a while for a Cavs game.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I think it was the Suns
Home
game
game.
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was the
It was
Suns at
still light out, so
3:30.
it was kind of good. Yeah. On Monday, we have the Jazz coming into town, and I don't know. I know it's not being billed as this, but it's the return of one of my favorite humans to play for the Cavaliers, Kevin Love. I think he's a really cool dude. He's a really good human, and I can't wait to see him say hello. I always like to greet him back. But you take on the Jazz, the young team, they're kind of like coming and going. I mean, it's kind of like don't know which way the arrow is pointing, even though it's up, but.
Yeah, I think it's more fun to see Kevin come back and we give Kevin some love because he wore the Cleveland flag the right way. He represented what it's like to be a real Cleveland Cavaliers. So shout out to Kevin coming back, and that will be another game in my eyes for the Cavs to continue the trend of what we talked about, continue to turn the corner, continue to play the game the way that the philosophy of moving the ball, getting threes off of getting into the paint, getting back to playing great defense. It'll be another test for that because, like you said, when it comes to the Jazz, they're still figuring out what they want to do next. They could be a team that's pretty active here at this draft deadline too.
And when I talk about Kevin Love, I always say a couple of things, and you, as being part of the media, Sam, I don't know if you agree with me, but I always love the fact that he never took the bait from the media when he was here. He was being traded by the media before we even traded for him. Yeah. He was being blamed for everything even after we won. Yeah. There was something Kevin did, and he always attended to you guys. Post games, he always had the answers. He always was willing to use his issues in order to help other people. I think when it comes to mental health, I think that was like it really takes a man to do that kind of thing. And then on top of that, when the pandemic hit, he chose to stay here after the breakdown, I guess, of the whole championship run. And he was the first player to actually initiate something about giving the part-timers at Rocket Arena a gift card because he found out that they were not going to get paid because they were part-timers. They ended up being taken care of by the organization. But I think there's so many good things about Kevin Love that makes that I have that mark in my calendar when he comes back into town.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can remember a time when I went to I wrote something a little bit critical of him, or if not a lot critical.
Oh, you were one of those guys.
They did a lot of him. They did him dirty.
And then I went up to Detroit for a game they played in Detroit, and he played fantastic. This was, I think, LeBron had left, and so it was like 2018-19 season or something. And I went up. He played fantastic. Went to overtime. I think the Cavs lost, if I remember. But I went in to interview him after, and he knew, he had mentioned earlier what I wrote, but in a friendly way. And he was just all smiles and all polite. And I'm like, wow,
I always admired that.
He's like, listen, man, it's all good. You're doing a job. I'm doing a job. People used to ask me what Boobie Gibson was like. Yeah. And I say the same thing about Kevin Love. I'm like, he's a regular guy. He's one of us. He's just a great basketball player, but he's like one of us. Yeah. And regular guys. And Kevin Love, and I think Boobie, to your credit, you could just tell these guys are grounded. They've a great love of other people, and I just think that's
the best thing I love about Kevin, because I think I possess a little bit of that, is that I don't mind making fun of myself. And I think in order to be funny, you have to make fun of yourself.
I like making fun of you too, Rolf. So we're aligned there because I like to make fun of you.
But hey, welcome back home, Kevin Love. We'll be back with more on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back to Full Sauna Court Cleveland on the Big Play Network. We're hot, and we haven't had
kind of smooth today.
You're always hot. Booby.
Normally I'm the one over here driven, but today I'm cool. Today.
Hey, the offer still stands. New year 2026. But if you have an idea of what rankings we should do here on Full Court Cleveland, send us on Twitter at Full Court Cleveland, and you might be a winner of Rafa seat. So, Power Ranking is brought to you by our good friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just two flavors: classic light lager and lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer flavor beer. Find your local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. The King, LeBron James, who recently turned 41, right?
Yep.
Well, he talked this week about needing to bend his game, not like Beckham, but around Luka's game. So we're going to power rank the best duos in the NBA right now. And I got to say, I had a little hard time trying to come up.
Yeah.
Before, it used to be so easy to be like, oh, man, yeah, Larry and this and Michael and that. Booby.
Yeah.
The best duos for you in the NBA right now.
Right now.
Injuries or not.
Injuries or not. I think I'm going to start off with one of my top three duos right now.
You're going to H-Town right away?
KD and Alfred Sengun. KD.
And who else?
Yes, and Sengun. I'm going to go KD and Sengun.
Okay.
Just,
that's a big duo.
Yeah, I think them two, they're starting to understand. I heard Sengun say, letting KD finish games sometime and he kind of take over during games with a lot of the ball handler responsibilities. I think they're going to be a tough out for a lot of teams. And, I want to throw that KD.
If you figure that out.
Yes. You agree. Hey, okay.
No. I agree on the fact that he's young enough to figure out that he can take his moments.
Yeah.
He don't need to finish, but he needs to get KD to finish.
And the beauty of it is KD said at the same time there was a game against Denver where Sengun finished the game. Yeah. And those guys are,
Again, KD doesn't get to finish if the other guy doesn't start. So
there you go.
You know what I mean? Like that. Okay. Yeah. KD and Sengun.
Yeah, KD and Sengun. I think one that we tend to let fly under the radar because we get a little tired, right, of Joker, but Joker and Murray.
Yeah. For me, that's a...
Yeah, there's like nothing you could do about those two. And I was trying to figure out like one to kind of come out of left field with, but I couldn't. And I think I settled on giving Jaylen Brown some love.
And Cat? Okay.
Well, no, Jaylen
Brown. Jaylen Brown, yeah.
Yeah, I can't go Knicks. I'm sorry, because Cat don't give me enough consistency for me to go there. But
I'm Pritchard or?
Well, see, I don't give him. I won't give him because he would normally have his guy Tatum with him. But a lot of people said that he couldn't do what he's doing right now. keep them in some form of contention.
Oh, no.
Be out there to, you know what I mean, set the table for his guys, and even allow a Derek White to be mentioned as a running mate or a duo because of how great he's playing. So I just wanted to give Jaylen Brown some love. But like you said, you can go Luka, the Don, and then I like maybe Embiid, Maxey if Embiid played more games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of tough, like you said, to find.
Booby with the 6-pack today.
Yeah, and then
Passing it on to Sam Amico.
I'm impressed with Booby coming up with a 6-pack because that was not easy.
yeah,
But,
it was
yeah,
tough.
I thought of KD and Sengun out of no favor to Booby, but yeah, that was one that I.
It's a powerful duo, yeah.
Murray and Jokic.
Yep.
You know, I mean, these aren't great duos like Jordan and Pippen, but they're pretty good. You know, obviously you would go with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum if Jason Tatum were there. But like Booby said, Jaylen Brown, obviously,
I got
great
some-
individual.
He's showing he's like 1 A minus, right?
I got some
Yeah.
unpopular ones. How about Jalen Williams and the free throw shooter?
I would have seen, but see,
SGA?
on that one, I
Yeah.
might even go Chet. That's why I didn't go there, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, they won a
who's
title.
more, right?
Yeah.
But who's more
But you don't
important?
think of them as...
Who's more important, Chet or Jalen Williams?
Well, the free throws are always huge.
Oh, this guy.
You know?
But I think, to your point, the refs are calling some of those fouls on the defensive end now, so it's kind of hurting them a little bit.
Yeah.
They're still getting the
Yeah.
fouls called, but that rough
But they
house that they've been playing.
No, you're right. I watched them against
get called
Utah a
for it.
little bit, and they're not getting away with that.
Well, the
stuff
league
anymore.
does that all the time. The league sets the rules, and then they figure out how the players are trying to go around it, and then they readjust it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Right? This whole whiplash drive,
Yeah.
it's getting old for players and fans. I mean, like Harden was probably one of the,
Yeah.
you know, Tatum does it. I would like them to address the pushing
But
with the offhand.
how else do you show foul
I
if
know,
you're
but I'm
driving
saying
and a guy
sometimes-
puts his whole forearm on
I
your
don't
chest?
under-
You
Yeah.
gotta give
You
him a
gotta
little.
I understand you gotta sell it.
Yeah.
But when you start selling it before you even start dribbling the ball, like
Well, get
Shea
your hand-
Gilgeous starts dribbling, he's about to put the ball on the ground and he's
Get
already
your hands,
whiplashing. So
get
it's
your
like-
hands off me. Get them off me right now.
No,
That's-
but Tatum and Harden and even Shea Gilgeous does a lot of the pushing with the offhand.
yeah,
Oh, I don't
but
like
they-
that.
Defender, when the
Tatum does that a
defender
lot.
can't touch you,
Hey.
but you can actually just keep pushing away. You have to adjust the rules to that to make it even.
Well, see, it's that line. Like Jordan did it from the final push off, but
Yeah.
it's either do you extend or don't extend, because I gotta be able to bump you some.
So
Yeah.
that's what I mean. There's not
Right,
even
so
the
it's-
advantages are not.
Yeah, if you don't go here, if you go here as a defender, you gotta be able to
You
hold your
gotta
ground.
be able to at least.
Well, but I mean, that's what I mean. You gotta be able to hold your ground. That's the
But
challenge.
but if the defender does, it's a foul.
True. To a
So
certain
there'll be
extent.
some adjustments to that.
Yeah.
But I
Wait,
have
wait,
another one.
wait.
Not
How
too.
about, I know you said you didn't want to go on Knicks, but Jalen Brunson and Cat.
Yeah, I agree with Booby. Cat's a little too inconsistent, but I mean, if you're talking about dynamic duos in today's NBA, you would think that they're
What about
about the
Steph
same one?
Curry and Jimmy Butler
I just think
whenever they play?
Steph is just a one-man band out there.
Are you
The
guys
fact that
fan of the? Are you guys fan of the Onion?
the what?
The Onion, the website that does like the satire.
Oh yeah.
They
I know what
posted
you're
a
talking-
picture of
I hip to it.
Steph Curry with his mouth closed, and the headline says Steph Curry finally ate the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
know
about.
he's doing with the
I don't
thing
know
dangling?
about this onion thing, man. I don't know. But he a one-man band out there, so, and I think the fact that they so heavy, you hear all these trade rumors, clearly they don't have a duo because they're trying to find somebody else to pair up with him. But we're about to see one now. Randall's been playing good. You add him and Ant-Man to that list. That's a pretty good duo.
What about Spider and Ev? Would that be
I just
considered
didn't want to
duo?
go Cavs. That was
Yeah.
gonna be my first.
Yeah,
my first.
I mean
crew.
that's a duo.
Yeah, I just didn't. I felt like I was gonna give y'all an opportunity to give us our Cavs duo. But
Yeah.
they're the
Rock
first
gave
ones.
none.
That would put that. Hey, when we come back, we're still walking because Booby hasn't found the car yet, but we're gonna go around the association here, right here on Full Court Cleveland. Welcome back, everybody, to Full Court Cleveland. We're still trying to find a sponsor for our trip around the association, whether it is by land or by air.
Deal Star Auto.
Give me a bicycle so I can train.
Yeah.
Bigger news. Exactly around 1 month away from the big date for the NBA in the beginning of the year, which is the trading deadline, Sam. And I'll throw it to you because Hoops Wire will keep you up to date with all the happenings on that. Trae Young. 2 questions for you on that one. Surprised about the trade and surprised about what Washington had to give. And I'm even more surprised that Washington was his number one.
That's the biggest surprise.
destination.
He's the first man in NBA history to ever request the Wizards as his preferred destination.
Yeah, that
I was
the
like,
biggest
what?
When I
surprise.
read it, it was like his desired destination. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, that's
explain that to
crazy.
me, Hoops Wire.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than Travis Schlenk, who
There you
is
go.
the GM, who was the GM when Trae Young got to Atlanta and drafted him, traded him,
Okay.
is now in the front office in Washington.
Okay.
That's all I could come up with. And maybe he likes the city. I don't know, but if I'm too old to have a favorite NBA player other than the Cavs, but if I did, it would be Trae Young. I just love watching the kid play. I think he gets a bad rap. You know, obviously he's not a great defender, but so what? You know what I mean? When he is on and playing like he did last year in Atlanta, he reminds me a lot of Steve Nash, the way that he played, and he does create for others. And I thought last year was really his best season, where his assists were through the roof. I just think that he plays hard, and I think that that's a good trade for the Wizards because they needed somebody.
They need a head of the monster.
First of all, they need that. They need somebody to sell some jerseys. I mean, when's the last time anybody bought a Wizards jersey? Maybe John Wall. You know,
Sam is going like,
yeah.
geez.
So they haven't
Get
won.
it, Sam.
They haven't won
Get 'em.
50 games since 1979. So I mean, they needed something. But not only did they get somebody who's going to move the needle in terms of marketing and
at least
selling
going to
the
get
team.
people to come talk about the Wizards.
Right.
Yeah.
He's going to help them on the floor, I believe, because it's a young team, like you said. Sarr, this Trey Johnson, the rookie,
Koulibaly.
can shoot from anywhere. Koulibaly, and they have some other nice young players there. So they just didn't have a guy. I think all the young guys knew there. Hey, you know, CJ's.
Yeah.
He's not going to be here for very long. Whereas Trae Young, he could be there for a while. So I actually like the trade for both teams.
Are you
It's a
surprised
rare-
what they got back, though?
That's what I was going to say. I feel
In this
like
day and age of like exaggerated returns and 5 number 1 picks and all these things, I mean, this was the franchise. This is the
Man.
team that traded how many picks for DeJounte Murray?
Yeah, right.
And
No,
obviously
I
that
was-
didn't
I
work.
was-
He's not even in the Hawks
Listen,
lineup anyway.
I say
but
the Wizards.
CJ McCollum, no disrespect, and Corey Kispert, no disrespect.
The Wizards, they put the ski mask on and went in there. Put them up. Put your heads in there. Give me everything you got. And
Put those glasses on when they put
Ooh, and they walked out of there with a franchise player.
yeah.
When they didn't give up nothing. And to Sam's point, the last few years they've been drafting pieces around having a point guard, right? Because you draft Trey, you draft the big, you draft Keyshawn George, you draft all these guys that have
But need a
talent.
point guard.
That need a point guard. And so you go out there and you go get, in my opinion, which is, we've had this conversation before. I just don't understand why Trae Young just doesn't get the love he deserves. He's been one of the best point guards in the NBA since he's gotten here. And he's averaged almost about 30 points, almost about 10 assists. The top 10 in both categories every year, but for some reason, everybody's like, get him out of Atlanta, find him another home. And then on top of all of those things, he's never had another guy with him. He's been in Atlanta this whole time just
He had
doing...
Capella, he had nothing.
Just give me one
Not a
guy that he
duo.
could throw it to
Not
on
a
the
duo.
wing. Right, and so Jalen is now coming into his own the last couple years. Johnson, the kid on the power forward, but he hasn't been there. So in my opinion, Trey hasn't got a fair shake of things. And if DC is going to give him the love and potentially add one more piece out there,
I think that-
I think DC is going to be a team.
The
Yeah.
franchise, when they beat the Knicks, and he almost averaged like almost 30 points a game, and they ran it back the next year. I think that was the biggest mistake for that organization. They went to the finals of the conference.
Eastern Conference Finals in 2021.
Yeah. And they ran it back the next year, and ever since has been just straight down. And to me, to go out and trade the house for a player that is almost the same style to me, like DeJounte Murray, it's like the same. He wasn't really a guy that could come in and like complement.
Yeah,
I don't want to say they're the same type of player, but he's kind of like the same perimeter thing. Yeah. And they, they already had a big guy. I don't know. I was never crazy about that trade they did with San Antonio. That took every asset they had.
All their picks. Yeah, I think that was the previous regime there with Atlanta, right? So, I think they're trying to. I think C.J. McCollum is going to be part of a bigger piece.
A different player for sure.
They're still very, very enthralled with potentially getting AD, right? And as Booby said, his contract's easily movable or whatever. So,
how much do you think he had to do with him and your roommate not getting along?
Oh, they get along. Yeah, Quinn Snyder gets along with pretty much everybody. I mean, he and Donovan are still tight.
So it wasn't an issue there.
No. So they had a good relationship. In fact, I think Quinn Snyder is probably the first coach that Trey was not kind of at odds with. Yeah. He was really at odds with Nate McMillan, who is a fantastic, very underrated coach. But sometimes you just bump heads.
And maybe that's where the rep came from. The coaches that he's kind of lost, because my guy Lloyd Pierce was
another one. Yeah.
So maybe that's the rep. But as far as the skill set and the production, I'm not trading away 30 and 10 just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, which is what it seems.
You're gonna have to give me something. Like they say, I'm leaving here with something. But the Hawks, I don't know. We're gonna see.
It will update you with the happenings of the association next week, because we kind of got caught up on Trey Young. So we're gonna have to take a break and come back with more Full Court Cleveland. Down the stretch we come on Full Court Cleveland, and to finish the first show of the season, we do something we all like to do. Except Booby doesn't like it when we talk football, but we go off the court, off basketball.
Baseball.
No. You don't like baseball?
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah. No college football fans here?
Texas.
I tried to pretend to be a college football fan in the media room the other day, and one of the sportscasters came up to me. He's like, "You're not a college football."
I was going to ask you, like, when is Ohio State playing?
Right. Very nice.
Cancun, baby. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Yeah. Do they go to Cancun as well?
But we don't want to get into Michigan. We gonna leave. We a talk show. We gonna leave that one out.
You matter.
They got a lot. They got a lot going. They got a lot more to worry about in Ohio State. Let's just say that.
Yeah, UM surprised them. They're playing in the semifinals.
Who?
Against University of Miami. Against Mississippi State. It is? Is it Ole Miss? Ole Miss. No, it's Ole Miss.
You're
and
not
then
I won't be watching that one.
Is Oregon against the first ever Cuban American Heisman Trophy winner, Mr. Mendoza from Indiana.
What's his first name?
For Indiana.
No, his first name's Indiana?
Fernando Mendoza, it is?
Oh, Fernando.
He's not a college football guy either. He's
No. I just know him for his last name.
I'd like to see Indiana win it all because...
No, man, you want to have Miami. If Miami wins it all, I win the pool.
Oh.
Remember, it's not who wins, it's who covers.
That's why. They got some action.
That's all I care about. They cover.
Now it makes
I'd like to see Indiana beat Miami in the national title game and then Miami cover for you.
No, in order for Miami to cover, they need to win.
Oh, all right.
So, hey, before we go, I want to get back on the court. We talked about Trey Young. Any other big names you can think of moving? Like Anthony Davis has been mentioned.
Anthony Davis is probably a big one. Jonathan Kuminga is probably going to get traded.
They've been trying to make a move there for a while.
Yeah. I think he may not play again in Golden State. I think they're going to, because January 15th is when they can move him, so that's coming up in a few days.
Yeah.
Got a little sleeper. Sack is trying to blow it up over there. Sabonis, DeRozan, Levine.
Yeah.
One of those
That
guys.
team has been ever since they got rid of Mike Brown.
See,
Talking about the Kings in Sacramento,
that's that
they
karma.
have been kind of like. I mean, they lost Jordy to the
even
to
with
the-
Mike Malone, they might have go back to Mike Malone. That franchise, we talk
I
about.
love him though. He's
We
a
talk
great-
about bad mojo. It's like the Kings got some bad mojo going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, they're like the Browns of the
Oh my God,
NBA.
Browns! How about the Browns on the Ravens
Look,
switching
now we-
coaches?
now
We'll
we're
talk
going
about
everywhere.
that next week. They're making me signs in here. We gotta go. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, download the Big Plate app to your phone and listen to us and watch us anytime you want. Booby, Ryan, Sam, Rafa. Hasta la vista.